Another day, another story. The town of Blackwood lay nestled deep within the Appalachian Mountains, its streets winding through dense forests and steeped in the legends of old. It was a place where the veil between the natural and supernatural worlds was thin, where the whispers of the wind carried the echoes of forgotten tales. Elijah Morgan, a retired war veteran seeking solace from the horrors of battle, had recently made Blackwood his home. Tall and broad-shouldered, he possessed a physical strength that belied the emotional scars that haunted him. Night after night, he was plagued by vivid nightmares and haunting flashbacks, his sleep shattered by the echoes of gunfire and the screams of fallen comrades. It was in the darkness of these sleepless nights that the Shadow Walker, a malevolent entity that fed on the vulnerabilities of the strong, sensed Elijah's pain. It slithered through the shadows, drawn to the flickering light of his vulnerability like a moth to a flame. The entity whispered in his ear, its voice a chilling echo that sent shivers down his spine. It promised relief from his torment, a respite from the nightmares that plagued him. But as the days turned into weeks, Elijah began to experience strange occurrences in his new home. Objects moved on their own, whispers echoed through empty rooms, and a cold presence lingered in the air. The supernatural forces that had long resided in Blackwood had found their way to him, drawn to his vulnerability like moths to a flame. In search of answers, Elijah found himself drawn to the town's small library, its shelves lined with ancient texts and forgotten knowledge. As he delved into the pages of history, he stumbled upon tales of supernatural forces that had plagued Blackwood for centuries. Stories of malevolent spirits, vengeful ghosts, and ancient curses filled his mind, fueling his curiosity and fear in equal measure. The more he read, the more he realized that he was not alone in his struggle. Others in Blackwood had fallen victim to the Shadow Walker, their vulnerabilities exploited by the ancient force. Elijah's heart ached for them, for he understood the pain and torment they must endure. As the lines between reality and the supernatural blurred, Elijah knew that he had to confront the Shadow Walker, to face his own vulnerabilities head-on. He would not let himself be undone by his inner demons. With a newfound determination, he set out to protect the town of Blackwood from the malevolent entity that preyed upon its inhabitants. Little did he know that his path would soon cross with Amelia Hartley, a brilliant scientist whose relentless pursuit of knowledge had made her blind to the dangers that lay beyond the realm of science. And little did he know that together they would uncover the dark legacy of Samuel Blackwood, the enigmatic owner of Blackwood Manor, rumoured to possess supernatural abilities. In the shadows of Blackwood, a battle was about to unfold. A battle that would test the strength and resilience of Elijah, Amelia, and Samuel. A battle that would force them to confront their own vulnerabilities, their own inner demons. For in the face of the supernatural, even the mightiest can be undone. And in the darkness of Blackwood, their vulnerabilities would become their greatest weapons. Amelia Hartley was a woman of sharp intellect and insatiable curiosity. Her reputation as a brilliant scientist in the field of quantum physics had earned her accolades and respect. But her relentless pursuit of knowledge had left her blind to the dangers that lurked beyond the boundaries of science. When reports of supernatural occurrences in Blackwood reached her ears, Amelia's curiosity was piqued. She saw an opportunity to delve into the unknown, to uncover the secrets that lay hidden in the shadows. Determined to investigate, she packed her bags and set off for the town that whispered of ancient forces. Arriving in Blackwood, Amelia found herself captivated by its eerie atmosphere. The town seemed to hum with an otherworldly energy, and she could sense that there was more to it than met the eye. She sought out the locals, listening intently to their tales of strange happenings and unexplained phenomena. It was during her inquiries that Amelia's path crossed with Samuel Blackwood, the enigmatic owner of Blackwood Manor. Rumours swirled around him, whispers of supernatural abilities and a dark family legacy. Intrigued, Amelia sought him out, hoping that he could shed light on the mysteries that plagued the town. Samuel, a man shrouded in mystery, greeted Amelia with a mix of caution and curiosity. He had long been aware of her reputation as a scientist, and he knew that her arrival in Blackwood signalled a turning point in their shared struggle against the supernatural forces that plagued the town. In the dimly lit study of Blackwood Manor, Samuel revealed to Amelia the existence of the Shadow Walker, the malevolent entity that fed on the vulnerabilities of the strong. He spoke of its insidious nature, how it manipulated the desires and fears of its victims, driving them to the brink of madness. Amelia's skepticism wavered as she listened to Samuel's account. The evidence was all around her, in the whispered voices that echoed through the halls, in the flickering shadows that danced on the walls. She had always believed in the power of science to explain the world, But now she was faced with a truth that defied rationality. Determined to understand the nature of the Shadow Walker, Amelia threw herself into research. She scoured ancient texts and delved into the annals of folklore, seeking any clue that could help her unravel the mysteries of Blackwood. The more she learned, the more she realized that her scientific knowledge alone would not be enough to combat the ancient forces that threatened the town. As Amelia's obsession with the supernatural deepened, she found herself teetering on the edge of a precipice. The line between scientific inquiry and personal vulnerability blurred, and she began to question her own motivations. Was she driven by a genuine desire to protect the town? Or was she simply chasing the thrill of the unknown? The Shadow Walker sensed Amelia's inner conflict, its tendrils of darkness reaching out to tempt her. It whispered promises of knowledge and power, exploiting her vulnerabilities and desires. But Amelia, though tempted, remained steadfast in her determination to understand and defeat the ancient force that plagued Blackwood. Elijah Morgan, haunted by his own demons, crossed paths with Amelia in her quest. Together, they formed an unlikely alliance, their shared vulnerabilities becoming their greatest strength. As they delved deeper into the supernatural realm, they would soon realize that the battle against the Shadow Walker would require more than just their intellect and determination. In the shadows of Blackwood, a scientist and a war veteran would join forces with an enigmatic man burdened by his family's dark legacy. Together, they would confront their own vulnerabilities and face the malevolent entity that threatened to unravel their lives. In the face of the supernatural, they would discover that true strength lies not only in physical prowess or intellectual prowess, but in the courage to confront one's own inner demons. In the depths of Blackwood Manor, Samuel Blackwood grappled with the weight of his family's dark legacy. For generations, his ancestors had been powerful practitioners of ancient magic, their abilities passed down from one generation to the next. But with that power came a heavy price, a price that Samuel feared he too would have to pay. The whispers of the Shadow Walker reached Samuel's ears, its seductive promises of power and control tempting him. It knew of his vulnerabilities, his fears of succumbing to the same darkness that had plagued his family for centuries. The malevolent entity sought to exploit Samuel's inner turmoil, to use his own desires against him. Haunted by the memories of his ancestors' deeds, Samuel found himself torn between the allure of the Shadow Walker and the desire to break free from the chains of his family's legacy. He knew that succumbing to the darkness would only perpetuate the cycle, condemning future generations to the same fate. As the battle between light and darkness raged within Samuel, he sought solace in the ancient texts that lined the shelves of Blackwood Manor's library. The books contained the secrets of his family's magic, the knowledge that had been passed down through the ages. But as he delved deeper into their pages, he realized that the answers he sought were not to be found within their worn covers. Desperate for guidance, Samuel turned to the townsfolk of Blackwood, seeking their wisdom and counsel. They spoke of the legends and folklore that surrounded the town, of the battles fought and the sacrifices made to protect it from the supernatural forces that lurked in the shadows. Through their tales, Samuel began to understand that his family's legacy was not one of darkness alone, but also of resilience and sacrifice. With newfound determination, Samuel resolved to break the cycle of darkness that had plagued his family for centuries. He would not allow the Shadow Walker to exploit his vulnerabilities, to use his own desires against him. Instead, he would harness the strength of his ancestors, their knowledge and sacrifices, to confront the malevolent entity head-on. As Samuel's resolve hardened, he knew that he could not face the Shadow Walker alone. He sought out Elijah and Amelia, recognizing that their own vulnerabilities and strengths were essential in the battle ahead. Together, they would form an unlikely alliance, their shared struggles and determination becoming a formidable force against the darkness that threatened to consume Blackwood. In the dimly lit study of Blackwood Manor, the trio prepared for the dangerous confrontation that awaited them. They armed themselves with ancient artifacts and spells, their minds focused on the task at hand. The weight of their vulnerabilities hung heavy in the air, but they refused to let it define them. They would face the Shadow Walker with courage and resilience, knowing that true strength lay not in the absence of weaknesses, but in the ability to confront and overcome them. As the moon rose over Blackwood, casting its pale light on the town, Elijah, Amelia, and Samuel set out to confront the malevolent entity that had plagued their lives. The battle that awaited them would test their resolve and push them to their limits. But they were ready to face their own vulnerabilities, to confront the darkness within and without. ready to protect the town of Blackwood from the forces that threatened to unravel it. In the shadows of Blackwood, a war veteran, a brilliant scientist, and a man burdened by his family's legacy stood united. They were the unlikely heroes, the ones who had been marked by their vulnerabilities. But in their vulnerability, they found strength. And as they stepped into the darkness, they knew that their shared struggle against the Shadow Walker would define not only their own destinies, but the fate of Blackwood itself. Thanks for watching.